Hey, what's up, comic fans? It is new comic book day haul time. This is where I share with you my pickups for the week. It was some really good books out this week, and we're gonna get into all those books right after this.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Welcome back. All right, so let's get into this week's books. There were some amazing reads this week. I swear, every one of these books pretty much had me hooked in. It was a great week for comics in terms of the material in these books. All right, so we got Batman Detective 1040. All right, good book. I actually thought the secondary story was really good in this. There is a death in this of a major villain, so we'll see how that plays out in the future. But you know, basically Batman turns himself back in after the jail he was in gets blown up, and he goes back into jail, just, you know, turns himself in Daredevil style in the Marvel universe, whatever. But he gets released eventually after he's in jail for a whole weekend. But he has this guy who's next to him who's drunk off his mind and tells him a story how he knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Very interesting. You guys should check it out. Also, you should definitely read that backup story with that death in it. This was just an all-around good read. Alright, next up we got Strange Adventures number 11. This one ends... Woo! I mean, you got, you know, Adam Strange, the chalk line. That's the word I was looking for. The chalk line of him there on the floor. Definitely worth a read. We start to find out a little bit more about what's going on in the invasion of Earth and what happened with the invasion of Rand with the Picts. This has just been a really solid story. There's only one more issue left to go. Basically, Adam Strange, as you know, this whole time has said his daughter was murdered during the first invasion, and we learned that that may not be the case, or that probably isn't the case, and that, you know, the reason Earth is getting invaded right now is because Mr. Strange here, Adam Strange, made a deal with the Picts. Really, it's been a really good series. I like what Tom King does with these like B and C list characters. When he gets those guys, he can really make an interesting story. All right, we're going to switch from DC now. We're going to head into Marvel. With Marvel, we got the Amazing Spider-Man number 71. This is part of the Sinister War. This is kind of giving us, this issue is giving us kind of an overview of what's happening, what's going on, all the bits and pieces that are working here. It's setting up everything for the Sinister War. I think this is the last, you know, this is the swan song for Nick Spencer. And I want to say, I think this is going to go in a good direction and it's going to end well. I don't know if it was worth sticking with this series for 71 main issues plus so many other offshoots and one-shots, and 80 something issues later I'm like, I really hope this pays off. But that is Amazing Spider-Man number 71. It's shaping up to seem like it could be a good read, but I've said that before in the past. But I like this issue. But don't go out expecting anything major. This is an issue if you want to jump on to like the last story arc of this run of Amazing Spider-Man. Go ahead. It sets it up for you, okay? Next up from Marvel, we got Star Wars The High Republic number 7. This issue had like 2 first appearances in it, or you can call one maybe a cameo. We'll see. They were word spoken, so probably 2 first appearances. One a Jedi, one a Sith. But overall, I'm enjoying it. The art for this was a little bit off-putting. It just felt rushed. But overall, the story's pretty good. They're fighting this plant life called the Drengir that like to take over bodies and take over planets. And so they're just infestating everything. There's a big infestation of the Drengir happening. They're trying to call all available Jedi to get here. Triss... oh, I forget her name now. Well, anyway, the main Jedi in the story, I'll remember it later. Chris Trevin? That's not right. Anyway, moving on. She connected with the Drengir to find out where, you know, their hive mind was. And basically now she's just, because she used those telepathic abilities, she's having a lot of issues herself. She's seeing darkness, and you know, the Jedi have to stay on that side of light, good, and she's kind of getting a little dark right now. So this issue was about that struggle, her struggle to stay in the light, to stay a Jedi. All right, we got Daredevil number 32. Guys, I love where this is going. Daredevil, Matt Murdock in jail is becoming so BA. He is a BAMF. And Elektra, she's doing her best job out there. She's tracking down Bullseye. She does find Bullseye. And let's just say, it doesn't play out the way it's played out, similar to ways it's played out in the past. But let's just say it doesn't play out the way she intended it to play out. Very interesting ending. I won't give away too much in case you want to read this, because you should be reading this. Daredevil series by Chip Zdarsky. Definitely worth a read. Yeah, jump on that. Good book. I won't say too much about it. All right, we're switching up. We're going to the indies. We're going to start off with Boom first. We got Berserker number 4. Really good book. I picked up the non-foil number 4 issue, cover A, just because the foil was gray, but the A cover is just all white. And when you can get that pristine white cover, you know, and just keep it clean, I just think it's a beauty. So if I can keep this looking nice and white for as long as possible, I'm gonna be happy with that. So that's why I got this instead of the foil covers or B cover or whatever. Just a nice white cover. Also, like, if I brought this to Con and Raphael Grandpa was there, like, he could just sketch on this, you know? Like, it's just a nice canvas. Excellent book. I didn't even talk about what's inside. All right. What's inside is we're still getting the Berserker's, like, backstory, right? He's telling us about stuff, and spoiler alert, he tells us about the day his parents died. Obviously, they're dead. He's been alive for thousands of years. But yeah, he goes back to that day, that time, and he also has the discovery, the first real discovery that he can't die in this book. So that's kind of what this book is about, him telling that to the scientist who's working with him. She's obviously also trying to find out what just gives him these powers, so, you know, the United States could have that super power military team that can't die. Yeah, and by the end of it, you know, she realizes that he has some emotions as well. Like, he's just not this guy who can't die. And she, you know, she says, all gloves off, you know, all tech down, nobody else listening. Let's talk about the truth of what's going on here. All right, so that's that book. So it's a pretty good book. I think this is going to turn, you know, flip the series from us learning his background to maybe something happening more in the current times. But we'll see. It's a really good read. I like it. Keep it up, Keanu and Metkin. All right, next up we got Something Is Killing the Children, number 18, and this brings us to an Erica Slaughter is taking a test, basically. She's been brought to the farm, right? So there's a farm where they give the tests to these people who are, you know, going to join the order, and that's what this one is. It's a pretty fun story, pretty cool. I mean, we all know that she passed the test, right? Or we wouldn't be having these prequel books. But really good part of the origin story. The last couple, I think the last 3 issues have all been like Erica Slaughter origin stories, and I think that's just what this whole arc is about, you know, how she got into the House of Slaughter. So with that said, we're going to continue on. Next up, we've got the Department of Truth, right? And this is an Image book. So we're on Image now. This is Department of Truth number 1. This is the 6th printing. This week, issue, I want to say 13 also came out. I ordered that through the mail though, so it didn't come in yet. But I did get the 6th printing. And this already seems to be going for a little bit more than cover. So if you can find one, grab one. This is supposed to be the final first print cover. So, and the 1 in 50 I think is selling for over $100. The 1 in 25 is going for over $50. So people are jumping on this. But that is supposedly the last printing of issue 1. All right. And if you haven't read Department of Truth, go ahead and jump on it. I'm not going all the way back to issue 1, but it is a conspiracy theory laden book that explains why a lot of conspiracies exist and how these conspiracies, when multiplied and manifested in society, sometimes seem to become real. All right. And what this group of people, the Department of Truth, does to control that and, debunk those myths. All right, next up we got Spawn, number 320. Good book. Well, I'm going to open this one up just because there's a new character in here, new villain, and he basically gets killed. So he existed for like 2 issues. And let's see if I can find a good picture of him. His name's Soul Crusher. He's a human. I mean, this one's pretty cool. So you got Soul Crusher in this book, and it's Cygor, not Cygor. Is it? Yeah, it's Cygor, Spawn, and Soul Crusher, kind of battling in this, and it was a very, very well told story. And I mean, I gave it away to you. I told you he gets his butt waxed by Spawn. Really good issue. Sometimes I am surprised when McFarlane writes a really in-depth, intriguing, minimalistic, like sometimes he can get a little wordy, story that really gets to the point across. And when Spawn's doing his thing, like when he's battling, that's when these books really pop. Not when we're trying to, tell us, his innermost workings or something, like his motions, what his sign is, and if he likes long walks on the beach. That's not what Spawn's about. And when Tom McFarlane could just give us this raw Spawn in those fight scenarios, that's when that book is at its best. And right now, the last couple issues, this book to me has been at its best. The Spawn series, not the Spawn universe or whatever, just pure Spawn, that is tied into the Spawn universe, but I digress. The art is really good, really amazing. I think everything about that book was really good this week. Even cover A, I mean, and A, B, and the C cover were all amazing this week. Go check them out if you get a chance. Pick the one that you like the best. I should probably not dedicate this much time to Spawn, but for $2.99, you're getting one heck of a comic right now. All right. So that's that. Next up, we got That Texas Blood. I really am enjoying this book. The second arc. This is issue 8. The first arc, like I almost dropped it, but I decided to stick it out, and it was good. Great art, great writing, slow burn, and the ending was meh for me. This one though is really sucking me in, and we're talking about cults, and we're talking about just evil at its most pure and raw form, and whether things can be influenced by forces other than just human decisions. And I think that's where this book is got me pulled in now. It's not just a drama, it's a drama with a little bit of like occult mysticism added to it, and that is really making me dig That Texas Blood. So check it out. And it's it's kind of going back with the sheriff kind of going back in town to the first time he experienced something like what's currently going on in the town, and it's good. It's a good story. I like That Texas Blood. So if you have a chance, pick it up. It's not your typical superhero book, right? It's more real worldly, if you will, but definitely worth a read. Last but not least, from Vault, we got Barbaric number 2. Very fun book. I'm loving it. Thank you, Evil Mike, for pointing this out. Check out his channel, by the way, if you get a chance. But yeah, this is, and that's Evil's Comics on YouTube, Evil Mike. This is a really good book. I enjoy it. You got two really fun characters. You got a necromancer in here, you got a barbarian, and technically it's three characters because the barbarian's axe also talks, but he's like one of these like Disney characters, but like twisted Disney characters that only these two people can communicate with. Really, really weird. Like I could see him fitting into Beauty and the Beast, but in a really weird kind of way. But no, it's a really fun book, really good book. You got them sucked on the ground, fighting these forces of evil, these dead, and you got a necromancer and you got a barbarian with a mythical weapon that can, slice through them. At one point they slice through one of the dead, and the dead literally is like, "I'm dead. Why do I feel pain?" It's just those funny little lines in this book too that really keep it going. So there were a ton of good books this week, guys, and for me to like pick one as my read of the week would be really, really hard. Yeah. So with that said, I don't know. I felt inclined to say like That Texas Blood or Barbaric were really good. Those would be like my indie reads of the week. Like indie and then like really, really indie. And then Daredevil has been a solid read throughout. I really like that. Shoot. And you know what? If I had to, I would even say Strange Adventures was really good. So guys, here you go. You got a DC, you got a Marvel, and you got some indie action going on there. These are my reads of the week. If I had to pick one though for you guys really to read, I'd say Daredevil, followed by Barbaric. Just jump on those while you can, and then the Texas Blood, and then Strange Adventures, because it's already on issue 11, not 12. Alright, comic fans, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, go ahead and throw me a thumbs up, and comment down below if you want to talk about the stuff that was just presented today. Do what you do, I'ma do what I do. I'ma get ready for comic book week next week. New comic book day. Peace!